Hello and welcome to Games for Days, where playing video games constitutes having plans this weekend. I'm Skewed Karma, and today I'm looking at Ys 6, the Ark of Napishtim. Ys 6, spelt YS but pronounced Ys, is a single-player 3D isometric hack-and-slash JRPG which, as the name suggests, is part of a series of Ys games. I'm reviewing the latest Windows PC release of the game, which came out on the 28th of April for £13.99 on Steam and GOG.com. The game was developed by Nihon Falcom and published through Exceed Games and Marvelous USA Inc. There are so many reasons why I shouldn't like Ys 6, and I intend on discussing each of them in turn. The weird thing is that I just keep on playing. It's not because I'm particularly interested in the story. I've never been a fan of walls of text in games, and I've not played any of the Ys games before, so I really don't know or care about any of the characters or lore. It isn't that the combat mechanics are exciting, they're not. Jumping downward stab, jumping slash, one button sword combo, hold button hard hit. Jumping figures quite strongly since it appears to immunise you against all attacks. It could be because the enemies are interesting and imaginative, and they are. But I think the thing that keeps me playing Ys 6 is the boss fights, and since they're my favourite thing about the game, I'll save discussing them until last. Ys 6 and I did not start off on the best of terms. One of the game's stated selling points is that it has high definition graphics. Is that a selling point these days? Didn't they all have that? So you'll understand my surprise when I loaded the game and it looked like it was made in 2003. Don't panic, I said to myself, there's bound to be a menu where I can set the resolution, and indeed there was. But it wasn't in the game. I had to right click on the game in my Steam library and edit the configuration. This made me wonder if the developers had updated the game for 2015 or just stuffed some new textures into an old game engine. So I wasn't enamoured with the graphics, HD or otherwise, and still can't figure out why the resolution can't be adjusted in the same menu as the sound and the controls. As for the music, it's pretty good. The production values of the music are high. The music ranges from whimsical panpipes and violin in the port to funky guitar riffs during the boss fights. There isn't any voice acting in the game since all of the verbal exchanges take place by way of text boxes. The sound effects are okay, but they feel a bit samey. The controls are responsive and easy to use. You can use a keyboard and mouse or a keyboard and controller. The game partially supports controllers, which I was sceptical of and curious to test out. In practice, it isn't a big deal. Most of the business is taken care of with the controller, and the inventory is accessed via the keyboard. So it turns out that the dialogue I ruthlessly skip hints at what you're supposed to do next in the game. It's therefore worth scanning the text for important words. It would be nice if there was a quest log or some record of what you need to do next or where to go, since it's not always clear. The cynic in me questioned if this was a way of stretching the game out, or if it genuinely is a technique for stimulating a feeling of adventure and discovery. On the topic of stretching the game out, I initially thought I could progress through Ys 6 really quickly. This felt fast-paced and exciting. I quickly discovered though that moving forward 1 inch quicker than the game intends will render you so much goo on the bottom of an enemy's shoe. Each zone seems to have a level requirement that you can determine by walking into the area and hitting something. If you don't do any damage or you get one shot, then it's back to the previous zone to kill the same enemies over and over again until you have enough levels. This kind of pacing feels really stop-start and a little bit like lazy game design. So now let's talk about the game's saving grace and the reason I'm still playing. Boss fights. So far I've fought 3 proper bosses and a mini boss. Each proper boss fight has been more spectacular than the last. The bosses have enormous health bars that make your own tiny little health bar feel inadequate. They have their own completely different mechanics and introduce more as their health drops. When they hit, it hurts. You need to learn the pattern of their attacks. Run in for a few quick hits and then dash away. Defeating a boss in Ys 6 feels like a real personal achievement as well as being a literal one in Steam. So I said at the beginning that E6 and I did not start on the best of terms. How are we getting on now? Well, we had a rocky start, it was a bit touch and go to begin with, but we're doing better. Ys is sharing kick-ass boss fights with me, and I've agreed to endure walls of text and XP grinding. Speaking of which, I really must go get my sword sharpened. So did Leah forget which way round her corset goes? What do you make of this? Why not share your views in the comments below? If you enjoyed the video, why not like, subscribe and follow us on Twitter and Facebook. I'm Skewkarma, and thank you for watching.